guys, this is really bright up here. Well, thank you so much for everyone who came out, especially my friends outside of the program and my students. It means a lot to me.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to read from the very beginning of a novella project that I started actually at the end of my first semester here. So it's been something that I've been working on for the past 2 years. And it is called The End of Peril, The End of Enmity, The End of Strife, A Haven. Here goes. The woods are gone now. A quiet lingers where they used to be, as if a weight had been held there, between the trees. Even with the trees gone, the weight remains. There is no sound. My mother told me of the woods. They grew thick and sweet at the back of the house when she was a girl. Only a chain-link fence stands there now. Behind the fence is an empty lot where once was some kind of construction. The air moves differently on the other side of the fence. I can see a slight refraction, a bending of light, a rustling of leaves that hang from phantom branches. It is like a place where people have died. Where my mother died, I think, for I feel her body is buried in the ground at the foot of the trees that no longer grow. My mother is not dead, but it is as if she had already died, as if this place has killed her. When I look at my mother, her body is too light. The weight of her body lies in the ground. I will mark her grave with a pile of stones, stones carefully stacked so they will not fall. The air moves, the stones hold, the fence moves. It is a rat, I think, a creature with claws and teeth and hungry. The animals in this city are misshapen. I do not know what animals should look like, but I know these ones are wrong. She showed her palm to me once when we were younger. See this line, she said, tracing an arch at the base of her thumb. It's the lifeline, she said. Mine curves back, so I will die in the place where I was born. I wanted my mother to live forever. I begged her never to go back to that place. In this city, the streets are unpaved, and my feet soon caked with mud. The dogs in the street are red-eyed and vicious, chained to shops on short metal chains or galloping mad in packs. Children run naked from the waist down and fight off the dogs. I am afraid for the baby. If I leave the baby in the street, the dogs will devour it, maybe the children too. I call the baby because I have not yet chosen a name. I have not yet chosen a gender. There is so much to choose, to give, and by giving to take away. I do not want to take away from the baby. It is the second precept, to refrain from taking what is not freely given. The baby was freely given to me. I turn a corner and the street widens. Food cart men pedal past, ringing their sad, sweet bells. The baby enjoys the bells. It squirms as if to say it enjoys them. At the end of the street, I reach the railroad crossing. Old men sit by the tracks and chew betel nut and spit red. They sit there on rain buckets or three-pronged stools and they look at me. I hold the baby closer. I feel ashamed. And then I'm going to skip like 10 pages and get to this part, which is a little bit more like an ending. I do not know who cut down the trees at the back of the house. The construction men, I assume, though I never see anyone behind that chain-link fence. The lot is always empty. It was abandoned long ago. I think of the men on the street with their food carts and their thin arms and their gaunt faces, and at night I see these same men working in the empty lot at the back of the house, cutting down the trees that no longer grow. The men move quietly for their numbers. I do not hear them breathe. Their axes swing through the absent trees and come around and swing through their absent bodies and swing through history and through time, and the moon expands on such nights to fill the sky. The moonlight turns all to stone, and the house is petrified. The house where I was born, the house of my mother's girlhood, and my grandmother's jewelry, and my grandfather's books, and the history of this family, and the history of this country, and the afterlife of all of its people. It is a mixed-up and crowded place where animals, hungry ghosts, demons, hells, and human beings all live together. In the lot, the men swing their axes through the trees and through themselves. I take my axe to the moon.
Wow.
Thank you.